Hello and welcome everybody to Crypto Rosetta. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at ETH. Before we jump into the price action, I just want to say thank you for watching. If you are enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below in the comment section. Also in the description you'll find a link to Discord. Come check it out, it is free to join. Once in the general chat area, just mention a member of staff and we'll be happy to help you out with anything you may need. Okay, so let's get into some of the possibilities we were talking about yesterday. So I was still looking for this to come up potentially a little bit higher, but we were talking about the fact that, we can also argue that potentially we have come up to the 0.382 of this wave 1 to 3. So, this could technically be a completed move into this high. So as long as we actually fail to move back above the 1742, we need to just be aware that this thing could start to actually break to the downside. So there are a couple of potentials where we could look for an additional 1-2 here and then look for the third wave up, which could then look to push us much higher here. If we do move higher, some interesting zones would be this 1-to-1 of this wave 1, which actually sits here at the 1786.65, which also ties in quite nicely with the swing high here. So we'll have to just see how we get on here. We are also interacting currently with this one and finding resistance at it. So there is a possibility that we need to just see how this plays out. If it starts to break down here, then we'll have to start looking at that possibility that we could have actually completed here, and we're looking for this deeper retracement down here into this 1488 zone to this 1192 zone. So we need to just be aware that this could still be a possibility. We actually look to come back down into this region, looking for this B wave to the downside. I am also looking for the potential that we could actually expand out from this point, where this becomes an additional 1-2, and then we look to progress up. So we're going to go over a couple of these options within the video, so make sure you stay tuned so you see them all. Okay, so we're talking about a couple of possibilities. We were looking at the possibility, and I mean, it is still possible that this move here could be some kind of a triangle within this structure, where this becomes an A, B, C, D, and then actually we're looking to complete that E wave here. We haven't sort of broken that top line or this bottom A wave here. So, until we actually do, it is still possible to look potentially at this move as a triangle. The problem is it wouldn't really fit into the fourth wave narrative if it is. And if it is a triangle within this space, what I would actually be looking for is actually to see this continue to the upside here. And effectively what we'd be looking for then is potentially that instead of looking at this fifth wave as a simple 5-wave move, it could actually turn into a diagonal, and this becomes an A, B, and a C to the upside. Alternatively, yeah, I mean, I was also thinking about the possibility that we could argue that from here we've actually just got a bigger corrective structure where this is an A, a B, and then a C to the downside. But it doesn't really fit with the rest of the count. It would mean that we would have to look at completing here, which I don't really like within the current structure. But just going to keep an eye on it. If we do get something like this, where we actually form this ABC to the upside here, what I'd then be looking for is to see whether we form a diagonal pattern like this, where this becomes a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, and then actually we look to break down from that point. So this is still a possibility because we're looking for a fifth wave. Fifth waves can end in a diagonal, so we need to just be open to that fact that we could see something like this play out, where we actually look to push up much higher here, and effectively the 1-to-1 of that move would actually be towards this zone of, I'm just going to go with this low, this 1942. So we can see that would also tie in with moving up towards this 2.618 of the wave 1. So there's a couple of things that it could mean that we actually do move up here, but we don't have that confirmation yet. So we're going to be monitoring it as we get the moves unfolding and taking it sort of one step at a time. Okay, so we were talking about a couple of things. We're going to go over the potential bullish moves. And what we were looking at was effectively the possibility we could be getting an extension in here. And it doesn't actually violate any rules, but I don't really like the count looking at it like this, where this is a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a completed, for the green wave move completed. Effectively, then we'd be looking for this fourth and fifth here, potentially to end as a diagonal if we want to look at it in this position. But like I said yesterday, it's not my preferred count, but if we do have this as a fourth wave, here, technically it could be completed. I wouldn't want to actually see it get too much bigger, because otherwise it starts to become disproportionate to this move here. But effectively what we'd be then looking for, that possibility that we have this as an additional 1-2 here. So we'd have to be a little bit careful here, because if we are going to look at this as a 1-2 from this position, we'd also need to just be aware that we could see further extension where this all becomes an additional 1-2. Actually from this point, this becomes a 1, we get a 2, and then we actually look to push to the upside. So, you know, it's a bit choppy here. There is a couple of ways of reading this. It is relying on the potential of a diagonal here, which they are not as reliable as a simple 5-wave structure, so we'd have to be on the lookout for that. Even this move to the upside here, it can be on the smaller time frames counted as a 5-wave structure, but it also can just be a 3-wave move here. So we need to just be careful of this. Really, until we actually take this high here of this zone, the 1726, need to be aware we could still break down. If we do manage to hold this support zone that we have currently moved into, so the way I would be looking at this move effectively would be as a 3-wave structure. But if we did have to move down below this 1659, this could then indicate that we have further extension here. So what I'm currently looking at, if we have a look at this move, I just want to double check something. It has, okay. So what we'd be looking for here, in my opinion, is for this to be a 5-wave move. And if we do get this as a 5-wave move, I'd say that it needs another leg here. But it wouldn't be able to cross this wave 1. So I would anticipate a little bit more upside here. Potentially the highest we would want to go is this 50%, which would be the 1692, and then we'd be looking for that potential to actually break down one more time for this 5th wave. So if we are looking at this as a potential 5th wave still to come to the downside here, what we'd be looking out for would be the potential of actually moving down towards this zone. Let's just get it on there. That's roughly there. Okay, so towards the zone of the 1666 to the 1660. So, you know, this is still possible for as long as we don't actually cross back above this wave 1, which is the 1695. If we do move back above that, we'd have to just treat this as a 3-wave structure, and then this would just be potentially an A, B, and a C. I am on the lookout if we do move down deep enough, like I said, past this zone of the of this 1659, we'd have to just be on the lookout for the potential that this could actually then become something like this, where we have an additional 4th and 5th wave to play out. There wouldn't be a lot of space, and effectively if we do complete a 5-wave move down and we do have that final push down one more time towards the 1665 zone, what we'd be looking out for was whether we get this 4th wave and 5th. If this wave crosses this wave 1 here, it becomes less likely. Well, it invalidates the count unless it's going to be a diagonal to the downside. But then what I'd be looking for is to see for confirmation of a completed corrective move. I want to first break this 1716 and then this zone of this 1719. And if this is a flat correction in this position, what we'd want to actually see in a wave 2, what we'd want to see is quite an explosive wave 3 to play out to the upside. Though, like I said, you know, we don't have completed structures here yet, so we need to see if we maintain this low of the 1650-56 and then look for this potential to actually push up back into this zone here. So the 1785 would be the typical 3rd wave location of this, provided we don't get extension. And then we could actually be looking for this 4th wave back down into this zone here of this 1757 to the 1726, and then finally a push up in towards this zone here of this 1813 to the 1795. So these are all still possible for as long as we hold these lows. You know, we can still look for this potential bullish move up here, and then we could look for that to play out. I am also on the lookout for the fact that if we do actually look to break down one more time and move towards the 1615 area, we'll potentially extend down a bit lower towards this 1596 to this 1516 zone. You know, we can look for that potential that this could have all just been a wave 1, and actually what we're doing is forming a wave 2 here. We can potentially argue that this is completed into there as a 1-2, but then they would push the target zone up, and yeah, I want to see that confirmation start to begin. If we did just push up from this point, what I'd still be looking out for is that potential of the other count, where this has become a diagonal for fifth, and then actually we've got another fourth wave in here, and then we're starting to push up one more time. So invalidation of these bullish options comes by actually dropping below this 1461. But when we do start to drop, if we do start to drop and we cross below this 1516 thing, the probability becomes less likely that we are in a wave 2. So, you know, that could be an early warning. If we start to lose this channel, you know, it could indicate that rather we're on our way to the downside, because we are looking for that potential of moving down in a B wave, and looking to actually come down towards this zone of this 1488 at the higher range of this, and then potentially the lower range would be this 1192. So golden pocket would actually be here at this 1293 to this 1272 zone. So this is going to be a bit of a key area. You can see we're currently getting rejection off of that center line of this channel. Whether we look to continue down here like this is also a possibility. So the reason I'm looking out for that possibility of that 1212 here is that, you know, if we unlike BTC, we actually haven't taken this high, and we haven't come back up here to challenge this high here at this 1742. So, you know, we can still look for that potential that within this move that we have something like this, where this is a 1-2, and then actually we're starting to form that deeper third wave to the downside. So, you know, confirmation of this would only come by moving down much deeper here. But if we do start to break down and we do start to push down towards this 1599 zone, you know, we'd have to just be on the lookout that we don't get that 5-wave structure play out. Like I said, where this becomes a wave 3, we get a push up for wave 4, we get a 5th wave down, and then potentially if that does move down towards this zone of this 1545, you know, then we can look for that possibility that we have a bigger structure here forming in this white count, which could look to actually push us down towards this zone of this 1530. If we did have a bigger 5-wave move down to this 1530 zone, we'd have to see how we react from that point, because I don't really like this structure here. So it'd be a little bit unclear as to how we would have to monitor the waves very tediously, because, you know, the problem here is if this is a triangle where this is a and then this is a B wave triangle, is a A, B, C, D, E. Even if we do move down here in a bigger move, we can't have a triangle in a wave 2. So it's a little bit choppy at the moment. There's many ways of reading this, but this is basically the bearish count that I'm looking at, where we could actually look for this as a 1-2, then we're setting up another 1-2. This is going to be a 1-2, and then actually we'll start to break down. So really invalidation of this current potential that, as we have it marked out, would be this 1726.59. If we move above that, that would invalidate this, and effectively we can't look at this potential to break down in this way anymore. What we'd be looking for here is a nice clean 5-wave move to the downside here. This wave 3 should be nice and strong with good volume, and then we'd be looking for that 4th and 5th. If this does start to extend out deeper and just carries on, and we actually take this 1461, we'd have to then start, like I said, looking at that potential that, okay, we've completed this 5th wave here, and we could be looking for this deeper B wave or this wave 2. Like as with BTC, you know, we need to be careful about how this move completes, because it is also still possible that on the bigger picture here, this we haven't taken this 4th wave high here. So, you know, there's a couple of options that we can look at for counting this. We can look at this as an ABC, and technically speaking, this 4th wave could actually be over here. You know, there's a few ways of looking at this move currently. We can even argue that potentially this move to the downside here. If I can get this back on the top here, what is going on? Okay, there we go. Basically, you know, we can also argue that this move to the downside here, looking at it slightly different, we can look at this as potentially a diagonal, where this is a leading expanding diagonal, in which case this whole move here would just become a 2. You know, we can also argue that potentially this is a triangle forming here, where we have a bigger move like this, in play, where we actually just move sort of more range bound here, something to this effect. Obviously, this is not confirmed. This 5-wave move wouldn't fit the structure. We'd have to see another 3-wave move in it, and basically we'd want to see this as an A, a B, and a C. But effectively, then we could argue that, you know, this could still be within a triangle. There's a lot of options at the moment. What's going to be important is what happens after this 5-wave structure. If we do get this deeper retracement here, and then we look for this push to the upside, what we'd want to see is a break of this wave 4 for a bit more confirmation. And then if we're looking for that impulsiveness, we'd want to look at the possibility. That's why I've got these alternative counts labeled up here. Effectively, what we'd be looking for, if we did come back down towards this zone here of this 1367, would be for a nice strong move up to this 2986 if we're looking for that potential of starting a new trend here. But we don't have that confirmation yet. There is a lot of possibilities of what the wave structure can be here. So yeah, we just need to be a little bit careful within this. But this will definitely be a good point to sort of look at how the waves are reacting down into here. If we get a 3-wave structure in here, it could potentially be a good location to try and target out for a move to the upside. And then sort of having a look and to see how this move plays out. If we get a 3-wave move that actually fails to take this high point, you know, it might be a good indication that this could actually look to extend down. And it depends exactly how we drop down here as well. If we drop down in a single 5-wave structure, we'd have to just be a little bit careful that we don't form something like this, where we form a wave 2 and then we actually look to break down deeper. And that would, if we did form a 5-wave structure, that would look to target out deeper than these lows here and set and continue the bear market effectively. So yeah, I mean, it needs a bit of time. We're going to keep you up to date as we see the moves happen. But basically, we've got two options here. The bearish one, which we're looking to break down here, and the bullish one, where we're looking for that possible continuation to the upside. But really, if we start to lose this 1461, we lose that bullish narrative that we will be talking about. Okay, everyone, I'm going to leave the video there. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, turn on those bell notifications so you never miss a video, and leave us some feedback down below in the description. Also in the description, you'll find a link to the Discord. Come check it out. It is free to join. Once in the general chat area, just mention a member of staff and we'll be happy to help you out with anything you may need. Okay, also in the description, you will find affiliate links for BYBIT and PrimeXBT, both great exchanges that we use on a regular basis. If you don't have an account with them, using the affiliate link does help support the channel. And there are deposit bonuses which can be found with more information through the links below. So if you look on the website, they'll give you all the information on that. If you're going to be using leverage though, make sure that you are using good risk management. We don't want to see people get burnt. Just make sure you are using stop losses and that you are positioning yourself well in your trades. Everyone, have a great day. We'll see you in the next one.